just a bloke in a bar.
I'm not great with directions.
Oh, tell me about it. Suncorp Stadium.
Yeah.
Holy car.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
But in fairness, I didn't know the directions then. If I know the directions, I'm all right. But I'm just generally, if you just like...
You don't have a good sense of direction.
There you go. That's what it is.
How would
Like,
have you
beacon is
fared,
not
like,
good.
in the primal times of, like, hunting and stuff?
Oh, you'd have died long ago.
No, I would have made it. It's because I don't care. If it's something if I need to know
So you don't care
it,
about me. You let us get lost in Suncorp because you don't care about me.
I thought you would have known, being a former Broncos player, how to get around fucking Suncorp Stadium. Forgive me. You don't even know your way around Brisbane.
The areas that I need to get around, unfortunately, you're not allowed in them.
Flex. Flex right there. That was a flex. But
was.
you don't even know your way around Brisbane, and that we all have access to.
Actually, that's been all cleared up. That's actually been cleared up.
You said you didn't know your way
I don't
around
think it has
Brisbane.
been cleared
Yeah,
up.
it has.
The comments were very alarming.
Yeah, no.
How the fuck
It's
don't
been
you know
cleared
where
up.
Brisbane
How's it been cleared
because
up?
It used to be called the QE2, but it's now called something new, whatever it's called,
But
Queensland
you
Academy of
said,
Sport.
I don't know my way around Brisbane.
I
We were
said-
naming suburbs. You're like, nah.
Karen, Tony,
No,
Troy,
we
Kevin.
we specifically
Susan,
were talking
Nathan,
about the Queensland
Duncan.
Academy of Sport.
Yep.
And you were like, how do you not know where that is? And that's because it's called the QE2. That's when I was coming up. It's called the QE2. And I'm not saying that I know everywhere around Brisbane, but that specific point, I knew it.
Yeah,
So
I understand
just
that.
gotta-
The difference is you didn't seem to know anything.
No, but he made a point
Why have you got your hand up?
because I just wanted to get in.
You've literally never had to do that.
He made a point that I'm just
Let's
showing
not make that a thing.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just showing some respect. He made a
Where's the
point.
respect been the last 2 years?
I'm just trying to change the game. He made a point of saying, just because I live there doesn't mean I know my way around there. So it wasn't just about the QE2 or whatever the fuck that place is. You were like, I don't know my way around Brisbane. Denon?
I'd like to talk.
Yep.
That was in response to you going, didn't you fucking live there? All right.
Well,
and I
that's
was
a
like,
fair
well, I was
question, right?
only
Is that a
there
fair
for
question?
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years is not a short amount of time to be somewhere.
When you live in the fast life, it is.
The fast life. The 800-meter state champion.
Yeah. How many times? How many times do you reckon he's brought that up in the life?
I
of the
literally
show?
didn't bring it up just then. The fast life doesn't have to do with running.
Oh, okay.
It's one of your favourite stories. It's one of your
I
favourite
reckon I was
stories.
the 800 meter one. I
you
said
said
once when we were talking about mums.
Nah,
You
said-
put it up. You tell that story as much as Tim Cale puts up his goal on his Instagram.
That's disrespectful.
No, it's not.
That's
It doesn't need to
hyperbolic.
be disrespectful. It's
That's
the truth.
hyperbolic.
It's just the truth.
If you're proud of it,
Nah.
if you're
It's
proud
cool
of
that
it, that's
you're proud of
cool.
it.
I
You're
will
a
admit,
fast guy.
I will admit, I say that I played soccer quite often.
Never heard that.
You've never, yeah,
Brisbane
well,
Raw, okay.
but I will not cop to the 800 meter national champion story.
Well, I mean,
look, I
you're gonna
agree to
have
disagree.
You
I
just
think
brought it
that's
up
fine.
again.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
fucking,
we're on the topic right now.
Yeah, but it's a topic you liked bringing up. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god.
That's all I'm saying.
Look, I just think it's a classic deflection because obviously we've got a man here that loves to bring up a story all the time. Like
which story
sickening.
is that? Is
I think we all know. We don't need to say it because we're all thinking it. That's how. That's how.
It's not a
strong-
story. It's more of a fact.
Yeah, almost like a weird flex in a way.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I get the feeling it's like a weird kind of staunching.
I don't know what it is.
It's like his way of trying to create a fight because we obviously know he loves fighting.
He loves fighting.
Does love fighting.
I hate fighting.
You know what? You know what's been annoying me lately, Tom? If I can just
Let's set it out.
air my. No, it's not dirty laundry.
Is this
It's
coming at
just,
me?
No, it's
You
just.
about to come
I'm
at me?
posing a
Is
question.
it clean laundry?
It's
Like,
clean.
Clean.
It's like it's when
Are
we
you about to come at me?
No, it's when we come on the show every week being like, have you seen the rescue? And you're always like, I can't watch TV because I've got kids. I've just been like seeing you dropping all these shows you've been watching in the last week. And I'm
How
just
many
going,
shows have I?
Game of Thrones, you watched a couple of documentaries as well, all during the
Oh
week.
my god!
I knew this was coming up, and I've got a response.
You literally defended that to the
Yeah,
death.
and he's like, dude, you don't understand. You don't have kids. You
get it.
can't watch telly. And
Well, I
I've
got a
been like,
response.
surely you get an hour a night.
An hour every now and then, just every now and then.
That's okay. Look, get it out, spew it out. I got no answer.
No, I'm just saying it's been.
It's interesting.
I've found it intriguing.
And you know what? I absolutely respect that you waited until this moment, till the bright lights were on to raise that with me. But I saw it coming, and I always come prepared.
Yep.
So again, now you guys do understand, we have been over this, you don't yet have children, and I'm excited for the day that you do, because me and everyone else in the comments, I see you, thanks for the support, we will come and shit down your throats Josh Masood style when you start complaining about the fucking time you don't have when you have children. Secondly,
Shout out to
I
JM.
did
Shout out.
watch Untold, I believe, on Netflix, the Manti
I watched
Te'o
it too.
story,
I watched
dude.
it too. Holy fuck.
Hectic.
But I'm offended that you watched that before the rest
Yes, now, people will come and say, but Tom, you said you don't have time. How did you do this? Now, Denon, you are married. Eddie, you are engaged to be married.
Yep.
Denon not invited to that wedding. I would like to tell you what I am that you both aren't, is a father of children and married. Now,
Oh my God.
who is the one that wanted to watch the catfishing documentary about the NFL player? My darling wife, Steph. Now, when I'm given an opportunity to go, okay, here's an interesting doco that's that I might want to watch that has actually been put forward by my misso, and it's not about fucking something that I don't care about, you have to take those opportunities, ladies and gentlemen, because they don't come around every single day. So whilst I was floating the rescue, she said, what about the catfishing NFL guy? And I go, sweet, we'll do it.
So you're not a good salesman.
It's not about the salesman thing. It's about
Well,
taking
you've been
a bird in the
under-
hand better than two in the bush. Do I try and upsell her to the rescue and then
Yes.
get, nah, bruh? Then she goes, you know what? Fuck it, I'm tired.
Well, I
Go
can
to
give you
bed.
the answer to that because I've seen both. And
Yeah.
you've done your missus a disservice. So you're not as good as a husband as you think you are. You've
I-
actually robbed her of a much better documentary.
See, now that I've gotten that out of the way of her making the decision, which
But you
she
don't have any
also made
time.
the thrones.
When will you get the time to? You never have an hour spare for your whole life.
I know, dude. I don't know. It's tough.
It's alarming.
It's tough.
So hopefully next year you'll be able to watch Rescue when you get that hour. But what's really going to happen is because you're a bad salesman, your missus is going to suggest one and you're going to go, oh, sweet.
If you were selling cherries at the market, you'd be broke.
Oh,
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would.
I'd
You'd
be
be
one
broke.
of the great cherry salesmen all time.
Not from what I'm hearing. You wouldn't be able to sell cherries at Christmas time.
I can't sell the rescue because I haven't seen it. I've eaten cherries, so I can sell
You wouldn't
cherries.
be able to sell cherries at Chrissy time.
I can sell cherries, dude, because I've eaten cherries. I can't sell something I haven't seen. If I'd seen the rescue, I'd be able to sell the rescue, but I hadn't seen the rescue.
yeah, but you'd been given a pretty big synopsis on it by
Yeah.
two different
You were given a
people.
great brief.
Yeah, a great brief. And also other people in the comments saying, wow, that was amazing. Thanks for the recommendation, Eddie and Kemper. You're good blokes.
Yeah. Listen, it's coming, but unfortunately, I'm a good husband. and I
So
just
can
couldn't
you
do it.
tell us, because like obviously it was almost an impossible feat to get an hour free. How did you get an hour free?
So, what it is, and this is the thing that we're trialing at the moment in the Birmingham household, is that we have removed Evie's day sleep. Evie being my oldest child at 2.5.
Who told you that?
She would have a sleep during the daytime and then she would be awake until fucking all hours of the night. Now, what Steph has done is gone, during the day, we're going to keep her up. And so then by 6 o'clock, she's basically drunk. She's so tired and she just passes out.
Didn't we tell you about this though? We told you about this technique.
No. You said just go to bed earlier. You said just put him in bed and leave him there.
We said get him up earlier or go to bed
No,
earlier.
you
Have
didn't.
you heard podcast Kempy and Eddie talk babies?
Because that's literally what we said.
I haven't heard it or seen it yet.
Right. Well, that's literally an episode was dedicated to.
Maybe
it.
your wife listens because that's why she brought that rule in.
Maybe she does.
If you want them up later in the morning, put them to bed later at night.
Boom. That's just
Why-
that's
we
math.
don't want to put him.
If you want them in bed
Okay.
while you can watch TV,
Yeah.
you just don't have a sleep during the day. It's pretty simple.
Right, it's like so simple, bro. Like, don't let them go to sleep.
It's sickening how easy it is.
yeah.
Like, seriously. Like, you could even look at yourself and go, when am I more tired? When I've had a sleep during the day or when I wait till later at night?
Yeah.
And you can apply that to your children.
So what you both don't understand, right, is that they reach a point where the day sleep is removed.
Right.
So you've got to wait.
Well,
till that
obviously,
point.
'cause
Very convenient.
You've got to wait till that point.
'Cause last
now, there was
week-
also considerations that we'd removed her doo-doos, which are dummies in our household. So we were like, is she not sleeping because she's now a crack addict who has no crack anymore, the crack being doo-doos? We don't know.
Look, I'll tell you
Now,
what.
It's a fucking game of trial and error that you assholes wouldn't know about because you don't get it. And when you do, I'm going to Josh Masood you, and that's all I'm saying.
I tell you what, it's crazy that a week ago you were defending to your death that you just didn't have an hour. Like you,
And then we
didn't have
removed
an
a
hour.
sleep.
I don't think any of us bought that.
The parents in the comments did, and there were plenty of them.
The weird thing is how you think we don't know other people with parents, with kids.
Yeah, I would be shocked if you did. I'd be shocked if you did. Truthfully, Denon, you don't know anyone else. And then Eddie, you definitely don't know anyone else with kids. So
Yeah, except most of our friends, but that's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, and like my brother is.
yeah,
brother
but
too.
you know, your brother, I'm sure, would be on my side.
No, we talk about movies and TV series all the time. It's one of our go-tos.
Well, I'm sure that he's on the fucking bloke in above payroll and doesn't have to work another day in his life. So he's got time to watch fucking movies.
He runs a hospital.
He's got time, yeah, which you bought for him, so he just has to fucking sit there. Of course he's got time to watch movies.
Oh, it's one of your best. One of your best. But I'm glad that you've moved into the modern era of parenting.
Well, we're trying. We're doing our best.
But I will say that documentary with the
Manti Te'o. It was...
bro, it was wild, and there was
Bonkers.
things that I was strongly like. I couldn't believe how much they kind of just the person that did it to him. They were just like, oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
It's like you should be in jail.
In jail.
Like, how is
Yeah.
this?
This is... And she... just looked like a disgusting human being, just trying to... But,
Justify it.
I just felt like I was, like... Because at the time when she made the decision to, like, pull him back in, I wasn't done yet. Like,
and I was
piece
trying to
of
protect him
shit.
because he had his draft soon. So that's
Shut the fuck
what.
up.
So I don't know. I think she should be in jail. But
Yes, dude.
no spoilers. You should watch it.
You should watch
actually,
it.
Eddie. You should watch it.
Yeah.
I don't have time. I got a kid on the way.
He's got a dog.
Like, we got a future kid.
You got a dog.
I've got a dog as well. Yeah, needs walking. No
Yeah.
time.
He's walking.
Oh yeah, always walking. Yeah, always.
Tell you what, is that the most famous dog in Alexandria, or at least in your area?
Tonka.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's famous as fuck. He's famous.
Do you
as
reckon
fuck.
it's getting to him a bit, or nah? He takes it on board. Natural.
It's getting to him a bit.
Oh, I think
He almost killed Maddie
he
yesterday.
did. Matty walked in unannounced, and he was not happy about that.
Can you be mad at him for that? That's protecting.
Well,
his-
it's in his nature.
Yeah. Like
he
so-
arced up for a bit, and I go, "Fucking sit down, you little shit." And then he's sweet. And then he's cool. He
I mean, I don't think you can blame.
just
the
needs to
dog.
lay the land. And now that he knows Maddie, now that he's met Maddie, him and Maddie will be cool. They're cool. He'll be cool for every night. He doesn't forget a scent of a friend.
Oh, no way, Tonks.
But
Can I call him Tonks?
he
Can we call him Tonks? Does he like Tonks? Or not?
Tonks. He likes Tonks. Yeah,
Tonka Cherries.
yeah. He tonks. He's one of the great tonkers all time.
Oh, he's been doing some tonking.
Oh, he'll tonk. Oh fuck yeah, he'll tonk.
Has he ever brought come home and be like, oh, Dad, I got a chick pregnant?
Tonk.
Yeah.
Well,
As in
we
a dog.
took his nuts. So, yeah, no, we took his nuts.
But that's fair. Like,
Yeah, I had to take his nuts. Sorry, bro.
He'd be,
We took him. He's got a missus so there's a Roddy that lives in the apartment below my sister, and he goes over there for a sniff and tries to jump on. We pull him apart, but he gets to sniffing back there, and he always looks to mount, and I'm proud of him. And it makes me upset sometimes that I took his manhood, denied him the opportunity to be a father. But look, it was advised that was the course of action.
I'm surprised
for
you
Tonk.
have time to do anything raising a.
I'm fucking flat out.
Yeah.
I'm flat out.
I could understand.
And unlike babies, you got to walk them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Also, in fairness, him and his darling fiancee Ella like cook him fucking meals for dinner every night.
I put nothing
We did.
past him.
No,
Not
no,
anymore.
they have like
See,
No longer.
He's a good father. That's why, and that's why I don't know if you're going to have time to watch any documentaries going forward.
or have kids.
And I can respect that you don't because you're
I'm not
raising.
going to have time for kids.
You
No
won't
way.
have time for kids if you got a dog.
Absolutely not.
Dogs are tougher to raise.
Wow, mate, way
tougher.
Shout out to Sebo who has that camera in his house.
Yeah.
What for his dog?
Yeah.
Our mate Sebo, who is a
on
great
about it,
bloke and
One of the
loves
all-time
his dog
stories on the
and
companion
loves his
phone.
loves his
Yes.
dog. Is you could argue maybe taking it a pinch too far. He's got a doggy camera. And when he's out for extended periods of time, we'll just look at his dog on the doggy camera, and his dog sits at the door waiting for him. I'm like, for like 8 hours.
It's heartbreaking to see.
I'm
The
like,
footage.
why would you put yourself through that?
That is almost self-inflicted torture.
We talked about it on the potty the other day, and then Sebo goes, "Why am I getting DMs from people who are asking me what dog camera I use?" And I'm like,
No idea, bro.
DM Seb and be like, "What's
Yeah.
your dog doing right now?"
Yeah. But I don't know why you'd want to look at your dog upset for that amount of time.
Yeah, that
It'd
is-
just fuck you up. And then also you can get like these dog cameras now apparently where you can talk to your dog.
That's what he's got.
But that would fuck your dog
Yeah.
out. It's
Yeah.
like, where are you?
"No, he says he doesn't use that.
Yeah,
That's torture."
Oh,
that
that's,
is
but that's
torture.
weird tech, even to put it in.
Yeah, but maybe if you got your dog like chewing your fucking couch, you go, "Oi!"
What's more immoral, the voice in the speaker or the dude that created nuclear bombs?
Wow, that's a great fucking question.
Jesus.
So, I mean that's
don't-
Einstein. Is it Einstein that split the atom?
I
it was,
don't
the
think
German
he did.
Heisenberg or something like that.
Heisenberg.
Something along those lines. Could you look it up?
Shout out to Breaking
Pretty sure
Bad.
it's a German.
Someone split the
science-
atom,
Yeah.
and it wasn't Einstein. Einstein was involved somehow.
He was involved.
Really?
Albert was involved in the splitting. of the
Albert
atom.
was, but he wasn't. He's not the architect.
He didn't
But
actually
He was
split the atom.
sniffing around.
Yeah, he was sniffing.
He was definitely sniffing.
Yeah, mate. Albert was there.
Shout out to dogs, harder to raise than baby.
Are you gonna do a dog raising pod?
I could.
We could throw it in there.
Raising pooches with Eddie Simpson. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking oath. Do that.
But actually, yeah, before we get into this, have you got it there, Manny?
Yeah, nothing on Einstein, but it was John Cockcroft and Ernest Walton split the atom for the first time.
Are they German
They are.
or like Polish or something?
I'll find out.
Okay, have you done anything to try
This
and
is
like? Are you gargling anything, Matty? Are you got a like a?
I
Have you
got-
heard of Benedine?
I've got cough liquid here. I've got the spray, the numbing spray here, and I've got tablets here. So
You need like someone to blow a load of soothers into your throat because that thing just sounds dry.
Or a load.
That is a wife's tale.
Loads help the throat.
Oh, the one before it,
Strepsils.
the Strepsil load thing.
Oh, okay. So not a wives' tale, just loads generally.
That, to my understanding,
That
Strepsil.
works,
No, that's not a wife's tale. To my understanding, the first one's a wife's tale.
but the loads is not.
To my understanding,
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's good for your skin as well.
I love hearing lawyers talk because like they never like pin themselves to something.
It's like politicians.
You know how like they're always like,
Yeah, but they're better at it because politicians like just avoid the question,
Yeah.
whereas lawyers make it sound like they've answered it when
but they haven't. And you go back and they go, and you like, oh, you pin them to something. And they go, well, actually, I said to my understanding, and clearly my understanding was incorrect. What do you got there, mate?
no, one of them was British and one of them was Irish.
Oh, really? They created the nuclear bomb
No, that split the atom.
split the atom,
Oh,
which was a precursor.
to the nuclear
the-
bomb. Because I think that there is a movie coming out. Could you do the nuclear bomb? Who created that? There's actually a movie coming out, I think, about the dude that did that.
Yeah, there is.
I think it's all in black and white, and it's done by like a hectic director.
Is it Nolan doing that?
Maybe, yes, maybe Nolan. Looks pretty hectic.
Thought it might have been Arndo.
You're not going to have time to see it though. So.
No, I don't know if it's on.
Is it Arndo?
No.
Is there any rugby league angle to it?
Well, I mean, you could argue that
Matt Burton's bomb
the
is
bomb
similar.
ended the war
Matt Burton.
and saved rugby league. I don't know.
Well, yeah, okay.
It was Longbow.
So this is where your German link came from. His name's
No idea what he just said.
German link.
German link. His name's J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
That's the name of the
That's
movie
the movie.
too.
I'm pretty sure it's Nolan.
But yeah, that is a movie coming out soon that Tom won't be able to watch.
Might be able to. It's tough.
Before we get into it, huge announcement, guys. Huge announcement. You may have guessed it yesterday when I put the post up, but Bloke Jerseys are returning next Wednesday, 6 p.m. So, 6 p.m. Wednesday. We've got, did you put it in here, Matty? Don't think you did. That's all right. It's all,
Just do it yourself.
it's all good. So
Want
we
something
actually
done,
have,
you just do it
we're going to have all the way up to 7XL. We've got the thickie. So if you're a big boy,
7XL.
that like we went big. If you're a big thickie, so we've got obviously everything up to that. Obviously, we only have a small amount of 7XL, but we've got 5XL, we got 4XL. That is next Wednesday, 6 p.m. And I'll tell you what, there is a very good chance. There's a very good chance that we don't do this design again. Matter of fact, we may already have a new design for next year. So if you want this, the OG, the first ever, well, not the first ever technically, but this style, first ever Bloke jersey, next Wednesday, we have a limited amount. Be there at 6 p.m. Once these are gone, you're not seeing, like, the next jersey drop is Magic Round, and it will be most likely a new design. Not most likely, I'm like 99% sure it's a new design.
Sounds like it's going to be a new design.
So make sure to be there Wednesday, 6 p.m. The jerseys are going on sale.
Did you think to do 8XL?
No, we thought 7XL.
What about 10XL for those that are like,
Look,
Really fat. Yeah.
Look,
What
people
about
need to get craned
Did you think
out
about
of
doing
their
a
homes.
bloke bed sheet where you just wrap a fatty in a bloke? You know what I mean? If they can't get into a jersey, if you can't make 7, just make a bloke bed sheet and just wrap.
like a
you know.
Duna cover?
Yeah.
maybe we should release bloke bed sheets.
Well,
And
I'm
you could wear
definitely
them
taking
to the
the
footy
clip.
as well. or you could use them as bed sheets.
Bloke doona covers.
Yeah,
perfect
doona
for
covers.
those who
Face
need to
of
be
your
craned
big
out of their
fucking
home.
head smiling on like the doona or on each pillow, so you get to lay on your face.
Denon pillows, dude.
Denon down, which is like your hair filled in the pillows.
Anyway, bloke
spinner.
jerseys. They are coming back next Wednesday, 6 p.m. And as I'm saying, like they're limited amount, guys. Limited amount. Once they're gone, there's a very good chance you'll never be able to get them again. But welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar. And just a reminder, the thickies, we've got your sizes. So if you are one of the bigger fellas, make sure to be there because obviously we couldn't order like heaps of the big sizes because we don't know how many.
Not enough cloth on planet Earth.
We'll go to 10XL next. We went 7XL just to see if that was a person that would actually buy 7XL.
Sure.
Fuck yeah.
Good for you.
Just quickly, Alex Volkanovski now officially
P for P, baby.
number one pound for pound on
good's
the earth.
that?
How bizarre is it to think that the great Volks, my best mate that doesn't know you guys that well,
Yeah.
is
Hates
the
you,
most
actually.
dangerous man on this planet hand-to-hand combat, pound for pound wise.
Love it.
Well, first and foremost, he's a dear friend of ours. Secondly, when we brought you up with him, he didn't know the fuck you were. And thirdly, I'm not surprised he's here. Guy's a machine. He's a fucking animal.
Sounds like you're surprised he's here.
Yeah.
We're not
you
surprised
sound
yet.
shocked. I'm not shocked because he's a mate of ours.
I think you might be mixing shocked with I'm praising him.
Well,
No, you.
It's
I'm
an
more
you're
like-
like,
emotional-
can you believe that Alex Volkan? I'm
It's
like,
an
yeah, dude,
emotional
I can
moment for
believe
me
it.
because I realise the
But you're
gravitas
saying,
of what
can
he's
you
achieved.
believe? I'm like, yeah, I can
Yeah,
believe
because
it.
I'm realising the
I
gravitas
always
of what he's
believed
achieved.
it.
Whereas I don't think you guys really understand what he's achieved.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
Well, that
he's the best.
seems unnecessary to go
Yeah.
below the belt like that.
Well, it's not true.
No, I know, but he's attempted to suck whack us.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm too elusive.
Well, you just do the drag. Yeah, drag.
You are good at
outside leg
Oztag.
over.
Move your hips.
Well, I'm incredible at it.
When you in Oztag, what's your technique? Like, do you put the hand next to the Oztag as you come through, or is that
You're
a
not
no-no?
allowed to.
No, but like some people do.
Yeah, but you get pinned.
Do you? So
At the
they're-
top
are
level,
they
you
onto
do.
it?
Oh, fuck yeah.
The top level, they're onto the
Well,
hand in front.
if you're blocking the tag,
No,
the
but
ref
like
will go, bruh.
a lot of people say like
You might be able to just like make it rather part of your running style.
but like for example,
That's what I'll do.
if I spin,
Oh, but usually I just run such a tight line.
Take your shirt off and show us what you mean.
no. If I spin,
Yep.
like I can spin with my hand down like that.
Yep.
Just like I'm spinning.
If you're quick enough.
But I could also spin with my hands up like that, which would be easy to get to.
You know what I do? Just run the best lines of all time.
Oh, you're hard
No one
line
gets
runner.
near me.
You're like the Boyd Cordner.
Just fucking boast.
I thought it was about.
Yeah, moving
It
the hips.
can be. It can be.
Do you go through like that?
Some people do.
Yeah.
Some people hit and spin.
Yep. Like you just
Some people
hard.
drop down like like really fucking drop
Is
down.
there any push and shove, bit of brouhaha going on?
Yeah, there is.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's always brouhaha.
And are you a Ben Cray who like steps back, or are you a like come at me?
I'm a watching on.
You're a guy like, go, bro.
There's a couple of boys in our team. Fucking, they love it. Put it that way.
Oh, they love it. You got a
They
few
love
grubs
it.
there.
Yeah, they love it.
Have they been signed to
You
your
can't
team?
punch on though. If you punch on, you get fucking you're banned for
Dunskies.
Yeah,
I think that's a good.
we've
That's,
seen
that's a
punch
good
ons.
rule.
They
to
happen
have.
though. They happen every now and then.
It's kind of embarrassing to be so invested into an Oztag.
Punching on in Div 2, Div 3 Oz tag's a big day.
Div 1, I think's playing.
A bit of push and shove, a bit of fuck you cunt. Like, yeah, that's all good. But yeah, fucking punching on. But it's happened. I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
It is a bit strange if you're in Division 3 and it means that much to you that you're willing to throw punches.
Well, you know, it's hard to curtail competitive spirit in some
We
beasts.
actually almost didn't get in a punch on, but it was as close as I've seen to a Div 7 T20 cricket match get into a punch on.
Oh my God, walk us through this, please.
Well, so one of our mates was bowling and they hit a ball straight back, and it was like the first over of the day. I think it's 3 balls in. Hit straight back on his chin, split his chin open. He's pissing blood, and he had to go to hospital. He couldn't play. Like, he had to go to hospital and get stitches. And then we had someone sitting there. I think it was my brother or something on the sideline, and we were just like, "Do you mind if we just bring him in? Otherwise, we're a man down for the rest of the game." Like, "Oh yeah, all good." So then brought him in, and I think it was like we were then batting. So the whole game goes in. My brother's bowling. He's played, and then it was like he was the last batsman to come in, and then we needed a couple of runs to win this thing. It was tight as fuck. And then Will's coming in to bat, and they're like, he can't bat. And we're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, he wasn't playing the game. We're like, he's been playing the entire game minus 3 balls where our can't fucking play. And we just all arcing up. And what the fuck? It was just this one little squat fat fucker who took the game way too seriously. We were like, dude, what the hell? And then even the ref was like, well, technically he can't, even though we've been allowing the whole thing. And we're all up in each other's face. And then we were like, wait a minute. Fuck this fat guy. Who cares? It's Div 7 cricket. Yeah. And the game ended up being a draw.
Oh, no.
We needed 1 run off the final ball, and I'm not going to name him, but Henry Wells missed the ball completely. We needed 1 run.
Henry Wells.
Yeah, 20 Wells.
20 Wells, Henry Wells, and fled, I believe.
He fled the scene.
He fled to New York.
Yeah, he lives in New York now.
He's fled.
Holy shit, Henry, reach out.
Yeah.
Have you
Henry
recovered from this devastating moment?
I touched base with him yesterday. Has a tummy bug, so I hope that's to do with the mutiny.
He's a nice guy, but
He's one of the great guys all time, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know about great, because like a great guy gets that done.
Yeah.
he's not a great
He's
guy.
not a great cricketer.
He's a solid person.
He's a great guy, not a great cricketer.
He's
has
a
tummy
lovely,
bug.
he's a great human being.
Yes.
Look,
He's not
I
a
think if
great
he cared
cricketer.
about his mates, he gets the job done. That's just my opinion.
I think that the much like Jose Aldo against Conor McGregor, I think he was feeling the weight of the moment.
Yeah, okay.
And the weight of the moment got the better of him. And basically, you may as well have got out because you didn't get the runs.
Tell you who doesn't feel the weight of the moment? Alex Volkanovski.
Oh,
Never.
literally never.
He is the moment.
He is the moment. Even when the life has been squeezed from him
And his head's purple.
and his head literally looking like it's going to pop off, he's still the moment.
He is the moment. Absolutely. That bald head, it's so aggressive and dominant.
The chin. It's the
just-
chin.
Seriously,
He's all moment, all chin.
He's
all
all
moment.
moment.
all moment. He'd be in probably millions of people's top moments all time.
Yeah.
And he's the moment.
Whilst we
I
are
wouldn't,
talking about
I wouldn't be offended if he changed his name to Alex the Moment Volkanovski.
Alexander the moment Volkanovski.
Do you know, I was
That's
around.
nice.
I think that's
So
what
he was actually, he used to be called the Hulk. And I was actually around when he was going through the thought process of like changing it, because we used to do a show together, like an MMA show together. And and I was just like, bro, the great's way better, because obviously...
Oh, so you were the
No,
reason. he changed
I'm not
it.
the reason.
Okay, so
but I
that's
was
what I'm
there
thinking of.
discussing it with him.
Okay.
Well, I think you missed a trick because the moment.
The moment's way better.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I reckon the great's pretty good.
Alexander the moment Volkanovski.
The moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just while we are talking moments,
Because the great's been done.
bruh, fucking Leon Edwards head kicking Kamaru was
Oh, yeah.
one of the,
That's what I
that
was
was
gonna
the gnarliest, that was one of the greatest fucking things I've ever seen.
I was so torn, because I actually like Usman.
So do I.
But...
That
when
moment-
when you hit that moment... Well, Alex Volkanovski had something to do with it. I don't know what it was, but he was...
Oh, yeah, it had something to do with it.
Because he's the moment.
It was a magic moment. It was fucking incredible. Like all the footage that like people cut up of Leon Edwards on the stool in between rounds, looking absolutely fucking defeated.
They were in altitude, and so Usman trains in altitude. Leon Edwards has been there for 2 weeks, not long enough to acclimatise. Is that acclimatise? Anyway,
acclimate.
so that's why Leon Edwards, and also that's why Costa, Luke Rockhold, they were all buggered.
Yeah.
because they were in massive. What's the word again?
They're at altitude.
Altitude.
They're at
Massive
high
Whereas
altitude.
Usman trains at altitude. That's why he was sweet.
Lives at altitude.
Lives at it. But Leon Edwards' story, like he grew up in Jamaica. His dad left to Birmingham in England, then brought his kids across, and they were all in gangs and that then. They came across, were all in gang violence. His dad, he had a brother that he didn't even know existed that was living with his grandma or his like aunt or something, gets to London. They become brothers at like 6 years old. Then his father dies when he's 13 and he grows up in one of the poorest areas by a single mum and becomes the second ever like British champion.
And
By
with many people saying one of the greatest moments in the history of the sport. Just like the fight would have been forgettable were it not for the finish.
Guess
Was it final minute?
Final minute.
Yeah.
Guess what his nickname is too?
Rocky.
Rocky.
The crowd was fucking chanting it.
Bro. And there's like highlights now with the Rocky theme and like in his corner going, stop feeling sorry for yourself.
That's what I'm referring to. That's what I'm referring to.
Oh, it's
Screaming
good
at him.
stuff.
Fucking good stuff.
And then the way he, again, not being technically proficient in anything other than dribble and yarn, but the way he set up that kick, like just they were going over the replay, you're like, this is
Lured him in.
beautiful to watch.
What I like about it as well is like you can't say it was luck because it was a set-up kick,
Yes.
like hiding it behind the jab so that because he said that Usman is very like when he boxes, his stance is very boxing stance. And for people that may not know, like you've got a boxing stance and then you've got like a Muay Thai stance, but then you've also got like MMA stance where you're a bit more fluid. Like some people sit there and go, why is his hands down? But it's because like if you've got your hands up like boxing, then obviously the rest of your body is there to be whatever. And so he actually trained to do that specific kick on Usman because Usman, when he does stand, is very boxing heavy. And obviously Leon Edwards is a good kicker, which is more towards Muay Thai kickboxing. Crazy. And there was no, like, it wasn't luck. It was 100% set up. Crazy.
Took his head off, like perfect.
Oh.
You just
Walk off.
You just hope though, like when you're a UFC fighter or MMA fighter, you assume like there's like getting knocked out, and then there's like meme knockouts. And Usman like just laying there with his eyes open, or Conor McGregor asleep on his hand, like
Yeah. I reckon it's kind of like why when Conor faced Nate Diaz first, I reckon that's why he went to the ground to get choked out because he didn't want to get knocked out in front of everyone. Like, you know when Nate Diaz and they fought first and he shot? And then he gave him his back?
He was in trouble.
absolutely fucked.
But that's what. But he took it to an area where he's the way worse than Nate.
He shot against Khabib as well, didn't he?
And Dustin. Honestly,
That's what they say though, isn't it? When you see fighters in trouble, they shoot. It's like they're just trying something.
Well, I reckon the Conor one, it was because he didn't want to get knocked out. Like he'd rather get choked because it was only like a month or two ago. He was saying unless you've been knocked out, you haven't lost a fight.
Yeah, right.
Conor literally said that. It's like, pretty sure that's not how it works.
Tom was saying today in the car that he's only won one fight in 7 years.
Mate,
That's some serious times flying shit.
and it's against Donald Cerrone, who was way past his prime. Yeah, I miss the old Conor. I think we all miss the old Conor.
Of course we do. Well, how could you not miss the old Conor? How could you not miss that incredible rise? That was so much fun.
Oh, and it was too good to be true.
That was as most fun as you can possibly have.
Yeah, because it was too good to be true. Because he just kept doing it. It wasn't like one fight; it was one after the other.
But it was, and also he would just talk the most pure shit. Like him in those press conferences coming up, like red panty night and shit, like was fucking unbelievable.
I reckon it was probably the Khabib press conference.
He lost it. The Khabib one,
where he started getting like weird. Like I know he'd said some pretty fucking unsavory shit before, but there was
nothing like that.
There was a hateful tinge to it where I was like, "This isn't fun anymore. I'm not enjoying this at all."
there was one line he said about his wife. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
I
And
won't
he was going
repeat it,
after
but it was
fucking,
pretty
he was
fucked
calling like his manager a terrorist and shit.
Yeah, I was just like, bro. And
it
like,
got dark. That was dark, Conor.
and like whether what he said was true or not true, it was just like there was a dark.
It was etch. It wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun. Whereas all the other stuff was,
And you kind of knew he was going to lose.
oh man. Anyway, but Alex Volkanovski, what an incredible achievement! Like seriously amazing. A bloke from the Gong comes and does what he does, pound for pound, incredible. Like he's in front of guys like Stylebender and that. Like,
Oh fuck yeah.
like amazing. John Jones. He's in front of John Jones. So
nice.
amazing. Also, make sure to head to budgiesmuggler.com.au. Budgie is the new sponsor of Bloke, where you might have saw the post we did on social media, and obviously we talked about it on Monday. Budgiesmuggler.com.au. They got plenty of stuff for Father's Day. They got budgies. They got the it's better than Lego budgies now.
Yep.
So if you like that, the new. I'm not sure if they're basically like. Matty with his hands like this. If it is Matty, unless it's not Matty and it's someone that, but it says better than next to it. They got plenty of stuff. So Father's Day, if you want to grab something for the old man and summer's coming up, head to budgiesmuggler.com.au. And also, they've got a huge, I think it's like a big day coming up, the Average Rig Award or something. The average, and so basically it's just blokes in budgies that do like a catwalk, and they've got average rigs, and then they give it the most average rig or whatever. That's coming up soon too. So head to Budgie Smuggler Instagram, give them a follow, and grab something for the old man. Grab some budgies for yourself. There's plenty of options there. They got cheese on the side. They got Toby Rudolph. They got everything. So budgiesmuggler.com.au. Now to Tamou downgraded. Thoughts on Tamou being downgraded?
Can I be honest? I couldn't give a fuck about this at all. I'm like, who cares? He G'd up. They were getting absolutely flogged. Give him a downgrade. Don't give him a downgrade. If he retires, I feel like it's unfair way for his career to end. So I'm just sort of like, this is just, it seems fair, like reasonable. So it's just one game, right?
So
He didn't call him a cheat. You said he was incompetent.
aggressively. Very aggressively said.
In some cultures, it was friendly.
Well, in the Eastern Europeans.
That's
asking how
how
it was.
Steph speaks
That's
to me.
how you make love.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
Look, I'm torn here. If he isn't retiring, I think it's not the right decision.
Agree.
Because it's kind of like, yeah, he's a great bloke, and we all know that, and he's done incredible things for the game. There's no denying that. But it's like you shouldn't get downgrades for being a good bloke. Like,
But if it is his last game,
then
I understand.
agreed. Totally
It's
agree.
like, it's like obviously this isn't the same thing, but it's like you shouldn't miss a game, I don't think, for a grand final, because it's just like, it's not.
Isaac
It's
Luke
not
missed the
fair.
2014 grand final and never made it back to a grand final. It's just like
that
robbed.
now is not even a suspension.
Yeah.
So
yeah, unless it's
I
like
don't
heinous.
think, if this is, let him fucking go out. He's playing for a shit club. Who cares?
Exactly. It's more of a
Do you know
punishment
what
to
I
have
mean?
to line up for those. fucking
You could
little-
argue that strongly in a court of law, Tom, that it is more punishing to go out there and take the field. If it is,
Do you reckon they argued that?
Huh?
Do you reckon they did argue
Dude,
that?
if you've got a
Probably.
good lawyer,
Yeah.
you go, he's paying for it. Who gives a
He
shit?
just got pumped by 72.
Yeah.
72 points.
What's worse, letting him not play or making him play?
And he's got a spoon bowl, for God's sake.
Exactly. Well, no, he's missing
Oh,
the
no, because
spoon
this
bowl.
week, this next
he
week. Yeah,
misses
you're
the
right.
spoon
You're
bowl.
right. You're right.
I mean, the DMC bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to it this weekend.
Yeah.
Sunday, 2 p.m.
It's tough because, like, as I said, if it is his last game in the NRL, I agree with the call. I think 1 week, that's long enough. But it opens a can of worms if it's not his last game, because there's going to be, because like some people are sitting there going, oh, it sets a bad precedent. I don't think it sets a bad precedent if he's retiring, because how often are we going to get a 300 game veteran retiring?
Yeah.
And this happens. Like, it's never going to happen. Whereas if he's not retiring, there's going to be many more cases where a very good bloke that's been around for a while does something wrong, and he's going to lean
But
on
what's the difference, though, between court procedure and the judiciary? Aren't they sort of the same thing? Like, you can do the same crime and get different sentencing.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be. You want to be consistent. But yeah, like as in...
But like, yeah, I understand you
Yeah.
want to, but I don't think they've always been consistent. They certainly haven't been. Is it time that you just accept it and go, well, there's going to be slight variation?
I mean, easy to say.
And does
but-
anyone give a shit in this situation? If it, again, we all presume it's his
Well,
last game.
for example,
it's sort of forgotten, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. Like, if it is his last game, I totally agree. But let's say it's not his last game, and it's a Roosters player that is playing against the Roosters are playing. Let's just say they were playing Broncos this weekend, and the team that loses gets knocked out. Broncos fans would be filthy because they'd be sitting there going, "Well, hang on a sec. Like, we may get knocked out because that player's playing, and James Tamou, you know what I mean? Like, because they use the good bloke rule, but because it doesn't. Should it not mattering in the grand scheme of things on the ladder affect the punishment? You know?
Look, I just want to shout out one of the more emotional rugby league journalists in the history of rugby league, and that's our good friend Crawls on NRL 360 last night. We have got the video on our Instagram if you missed it, but Kenty speaking to this about the good bloke rule shouldn't change anything, and just from the clouds, Crawls just pipes up with, "Oh yeah, what about Ricky?" And then just smiles to himself. Like, he's already laughing as he's saying it, jolly and bouncing around. Then Kenty, completely blindsided, was like, not the same thing. And then they just move on. And I was like, I just fucking...
Oh, he got
I
him.
stood and applauded.
It was
the
an
best
uppercut
fucking
he
thing I've
didn't
ever
see
seen.
coming.
Oh, yeah. The ones you don't see coming hurt the most.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, and it rattled him.
It rocked him.
It was pure stuff.
Because Kenny had just gone on a big... You can't just be bloody good
Would you
bloke
feel
this, good
better if
bloke
they
that.
came out, the NRL, and said, listen, he's been downgraded because he's playing for the shittest club in the comp and he's retiring next year, so move on.
I think
Would
that
we
be
feel
nice.
better about that?
Yep.
Well, I'd feel better about the bit of if the NRL said, look, it's his last game, he's not playing next year. But again, we don't know. He might pick up a club in the off-season, you know? So we just don't know if it is his last game or not. Because he said himself, Tamou said himself, it might be my last game. What do you got there, Matty?
Like, to play devil's advocate, what if, because the last game's against Canberra, they could make the finals. Like, what if he scores a game-winning try and cost Canberra a finals berth.
Then we get a Rick Noble and we get more fucking content. How good.
Which is what we're here for.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what rugby league lives for.
Yeah, so I'm pretty clear about this. If it is his last game, I like it. I think it's the right decision. If it's not his last game, I think it's you probably should get 2 weeks for what he said. Like, it was pretty hectic. Pretty hectic.
The referee was very. I mean, Tigers were unlucky in that game, and I think it was the referee's fault.
But there's no denying what Tamou, like he has had an exemplary career, like a truly exemplary. He's never put a foot wrong, done so many great things for the rugby league community. So I can understand that argument as well. Now there's been a bit of talks, but that it's kind of come out of nowhere, and I don't know whether it's the Dolphins putting pressure on Munster, but the Dolphins might be interested in big fella Latrell.
Is there is anyone surprised by that? The Dolphins have no marquee player fame. Of course, they'd be interested in Latrell.
Why hasn't Latrell come up before? In all the toing, the throwing, the huffing, the puffing.
Well, I think it might be two things. It might be because Wayne doesn't want to be seen as poaching South Sydney players of that calibre. Because Wayne has said, I haven't had talks with Latrell, but if he's on the open market in November, then yes, I'm interested. He has been negotiating with South Sydney, and they might do a deal before he becomes a free agent. And then Mitchell said, am I a second choice to Wayne, am I? Mitchell said in reference to Munster being the priority. I can't be second choice. I leave that negotiations up to my manager, Blake Solly, Rabbitohs CEO, to talk about it. Now, the second choice thing, I think that was more, was that Anasta that said that, like, if they don't get Munster, then they might go after Latrell?
Yeah, I think he just, Latrell, I don't think it was by Braith, but at a media day, he was just posed the question, if they don't get Munster, would you be interested? And
Does he say this tongue-in-cheek?
Oh, absolutely.
Second choice, Wayne, am I?
No, it's the way it reads. He says it real tongue-in-cheek.
I don't know.
Because
I'm just sort of
the Dolphins, the fish, they got a fuckload of money and they're desperate to spend it.
I'm just musing about the fact that I haven't seen Latrell's name come up even from journos being like.
So the yarn that they were saying on NRL 360 last night was that they think it's the Dolphins trying to put pressure on Munster, who had just gone down to Melbourne to have another meeting where apparently they came to the table with more money, and so it's Wayne basically going like, "What are you going to do here, money?
Because if you don't take it, I'm going right." Okay.
And Cody apparently in a package deal.
A
package. I just can't see Munster staying at the Storm unless they are big dick moneying him.
We've been over it many, many times on this podcast,
Yes,
Tom. I can't see. Look, I can't see it because it's not a decision I'd make. I wouldn't stay at the Storm if I'm getting fucking huge money to work or to be coached by Wayne back in my home state. I've already won comps.
For the
flop
fish.
around. There's also the carrot of like potentially taking a new side to premiership glory in the future. That would be too attractive for me to leave behind.
Beaches,
Yeah.
warm weather.
However, this may shock some. I'm not Cameron Munster.
What?
So he may see things a little differently.
Tell you what, while we go down on one of the greats in Braith and Astra one more time on this show, but I love...
How he looks,
Well, yeah,
how he sounds,
absolutely.
how he acts.
Correct. How he smells, even though I can't smell it. I just
How he
love...
tastes?
But haven't tasted him yet. But I love seeing him get grilled on NRL 360, and you're like seeing an agent have to answer these questions in real time about an ongoing thing with the biggest player in the game. It's like, that is fucking gripping, and gripping is maybe too hyperbolic a word, but gripping television.
Well, are you gripped by
I'm
it?
fucking gripped.
Well, then it's gripping.
Consumed.
Well, then it's gripping.
I'm gripped by it.
And how does he handle them?
Well, but also sometimes he'd be like, oh, fuck. But, like, he handles it well. I love it. And I love Braith. So make of that what you will.
Also, it's got to be in Anasta's interest to go to the Dolphins. Surely there's a percentage sort of...
Well, it's really interesting watching.
There'd be a percentage take of the total contract. So, you know,
Yeah.
the bigger the better.
The bigger the better. What's interesting though is like watching Anasta. You know, 1 week he'll be talking about how, you know, they've offered we're going to go to the open market because what they've offered we're not happy with, and then like the next week they've upped the offer. So Anas is like more along the lines of, they've upped the offer. It's looking like we're a bit closer to getting the deal done. And so you're seeing a negotiation happen in real time of like, it's just, as you said, like literally happening in real time where it's kind of sending a subliminal message to the Storm of like, we're going to the open market, and now they up the offer. So he's going, we might be back.
Yeah,
and
then also while doing that, then the Dolphins going, Jesus Christ, the Melbourne have come with an offer. All right, we might have to throw a few extra on there.
And then the Broncos came. Yeah, there was a Broncos chat there for a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And so talk about like,
what do you reckon he's getting offered at the Storm?
I reckon
it starts with a 1.
No, I reckon they got to about 900, 950.
Fuck, it's not enough for him though.
No, it's
just not enough.
Not when you could potentially get an
extra.
extra.
Not when you look around the league and you go, you're on 1, you're on 1, you're on. Why am I not on 1?
Like, you know what I mean? Cleary's 1.3 now.
Yeah, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. It's fucking
like this. You could get an extra $500,000 potentially.
That's a lot of money. That is a fucking crazy amount of money.
I honestly reckon that by the end of all of this, the Dolphins will have paid 1.4 to 1.5 million a year for
the dog, Mad
Dog Monster.
Work every cent.
And you know what?
In my opinion,
where they're at right now, it is worth probably every cent. If I was the Dolphins, I'd be front loading the contract rather than back loading it, like because they're clearly struggling to recruit. So front load it because you've got to spend the cap anyway. There's no point not spending money in the cap for that year. Give him a fuckload in the first year to entice him, and then just slowly ease it off.
Yeah.
Because what's interesting, actually, I found out this week, I think it's Benny Hunt.
Do the reverse Hasler.
The reverse Hasler. Well, it's actually, I think the Dragons did that with Ben Hunt. So he was front loaded and it slowly eased off. Actually, we'll talk about that. Have you seen the latest on Benny Hunt?
$750 they're offering him. Why don't you just go and shit in a paper bag and slap him across the face?
I think
with
700 even.
Oh my God.
And what's crazy is the report suggested that Ben had gone to them and said, I'm happy to be around the 850 mark.
And they lowballed him.
And they lowballed him.
Isn't their cap a complete another fucking shit show?
Yeah.
I heard they've got to move on Jack DeBellin.
Well, so basically,
who they just signed on. He's on fucking 750.
So basically,
you can't even find 850 for the Dally M before it went behind closed doors leader.
And like now Queensland legend almost from his fucking heroics.
Yeah, 100%. And
well, he's had legendary performances in the maroon. That's for sure.
So they released the NRL top 100 list, and this is a bit confusing because the Dragons have the most in the top 100. So they got 10 players in the top 100 for earnings. But the difference with the Dragons is that a lot of those players are still being paid by their former club. In saying that, because a few people messaged me and said, "Oh, that's it's not really accurate because they're getting paid by the other club." But I was like, even if I granted you 2 whole contracts, like 2 whole contracts of 50 grand, we took that off, and you're still at 8 people in the top 100, which is more than the top dogs like Storm and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, their salary cap, it seems like, again, this is just all reportedly, is a mess. But what I think is, I think it's a poor play by the Dragons is because, like, if it's true that Ben Hunt went to them and said, I'll go 850, around 800, 850.
Down from 1-1? 1-2?
Down from about 1. I think that's where you've got to put business aside and create that trust bond. You know what I mean? It's a reasonable amount. Don't start playing games of like, let's try and get him to lower to 700.
No.
You know what I mean?
He's trying to do the right by the club.
Exactly.
As well.
He's trying to do right by the club. He probably could have gone there and said, I want $1 million. And you know what? I think we all would have been like, you're probably worth it.
He's more worth it now than he was when he first got there.
Literally.
When he actually got it.
Yeah.
He's way more valuable now.
And so that's where I think the Dragons may have misplayed this a little bit, because it's like he came to you in a reasonable fashion, reportedly. Just meet him right there. Whereas now, you run the risk of him going, all right, so this is a business. We're not talking about loyalty and being reasonable with you anymore. We're talking business. All of a sudden, it can get messy and go, all right, let's make this a purely business transaction and see who wins. And I'm probably not going to be the Dragons.
No.
You know?
Well, if it's down to pure business,
yeah.
But they got some young guns as well coming through. That the yarn has just been that they're just sort of fucking around, right? Like your Sullivans and your Sloans.
I don't know about fucking around. There's two. There's 2 yarns. The one is that they're not going great or whatever. The other is that they haven't been handled properly by coaching. Like they haven't been brought through the correct way. Sullivan was outstanding on the weekend. He actually hasn't had many chances this year. Same with Sloan. Like Sloan came in, he played like 3 or 4 games and got dropped.
But I thought he was pretty good.
I did too. And that's where the argument for some believe that Sloan and Sullivan haven't been treated correctly. Like Wendell, Big Dell was pretty strong about it. So I can see that. Like I personally think that like the longevity of Sloan and like him potentially being a 10-year fullback of the club, because you can see it there. You can see all the makings of a long-term fullback. I don't think it was worth being cutthroat with him now, because now when he came back into first grade, his confidence was destroyed. Sullivan was great on the weekend, but I'm not sure what they're going to do with him, because Amon's been fantastic as well. So it's a really interesting time at Dragons.
So Sullivan's played 7 games this year, and only one of them has been starting, and then he's starting at hooker this week. And then Sloan, pretty similar. He started the first 3 games, then played Magic Round, and then played 2 games off the bench.
Yeah, so he hasn't really had an opportunity.
A chance.
Ramsey's been good though, so it's Gordon. It's a lot more complicated than it seems. But I would have probably stuck with Sloan a bit longer.
Jesus Christ.
That's what you come here for.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Why is your club falling apart?
What do you mean?
Well, your club's falling apart.
What do you mean?
At the seams.
Why is it falling apart?
How's it falling apart? You know what? Falling apart would imply that we've won the spoon.
Yeah. The fact that we are even where we are despite the turmoil would show that it's been the bravest season in, since 1908?
Since 1908, Tom. Since the first game of rugby league played on these shores. I would also point out, Denon, that throughout the turmoil, which has been tumultuous, I like seeing our leaders stand up and fucking stay the course. DCE has been inspiring. Kieran Foran has been inspiring. Now, you could argue strongly that there may be some division at the club.
Yeah, you could.
But I'm hearing on good authority that there might be a big sweep out coming.
Ooh, clean out.
Clean them out.
I was not around when Max Krilich played and captained the country, but I did hear him come out and go at saying it's maybe time to move Des on. Now, Max closer to the club than I am, but I still choose to ignore that and just ask Max to shut the fuck up. We don't need this conversation right now, Max.
So is he still like a part of the club?
No.
It's a bold thing to say.
It's a bold thing to say.
It's manly. That's manly stuff.
But when in this coaching climate, when there's fucking no one around, save for Shane Flanagan,
it's the labour market. Job shortages out the fucking wazoo, and that's
everywhere.
At every turn, there's a job shortage, and that does also include NRL coaches.
Now, I don't know how many premierships Max has coached. I know he's a great player, but that does not necessarily maketh the coach. Des, were it not for an ideological shitstorm that was thrust upon him without any control by some absolute fuckhead in marketing who doesn't know what they're doing and didn't have good intentions when going about their fucking thing, whatever it was.
And injuries.
Lots of injuries.
And a tough schedule.
We would have made the fucking top 8. Because that whole Jersey thing derailed the entire season. It's put a division through the side, if you are to believe the rumours and whispers.
Well,
now we've got fucking Marty Tapau putting up videos on his Instagram of like, I'm not getting given the ball. You're like, oh my God. When I saw that, dude, I almost just fucking turned the lights off, just went to bed for the rest
he's
of the
not
season.
getting good ball. Maybe that's the problem.
Mate, in the caption, it's like, why Manly lost? Do you think you're worth 40 points?
Maybe.
There's one player worth 40 points.
Tom.
It's not Marty.
Maybe Marty should get more ball.
It's been a tough couple of weeks.
It's been a tough
for the
couple of
club,
weeks.
and I think it's shown on the big fella here. But he wears his heart on his sleeve, and I like seeing that sort of passion. That sort of passion is what makes the club great.
I just don't think it was necessary to put that shit on your stories. In the exact same way that we don't think that it's great to be using the fucking game of rugby league to, put up gang signs that weren't gang signs, whatever. But you don't come out against your own side and start whinging by putting videos up of your players not passing you the ball. That, to me, is that is bullshit behaviour.
Well, you probably do it if you have already asked for an immediate release. Again, the broom's come out. I'm good with the broom. Send me in there, baby. I'll fucking sweep that shithole out.
Look, you called it a shithole, not me, but I agree.
At the moment. But it can be cleansed.
Last couple of weeks have been tough. And not only is it sitting, am I wearing my heart on my sleeve, but clearly Eddie also. Just a couple of guys with
Like,
hearts on
hearts
sleeves.
on sleeve kind of stuff. Maybe you should release some merch, say, with some hearts on some sleeves.
Look, it's been 6 tough weeks.
A broken heart on a
Yeah,
sleeve.
broken heart and then bravest year ever.
And just us crying.
Yeah.
However, I need to reiterate that from the ashes rises the phoenix, but instead of a phoenix, it's a sea eagle. And instead of ashes, it's just like 11th. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like,
Well,
I
that's
need to-
ashes for us.
It is ashes for us, but I just need to provide context to the punter and the dribbler. We've never won a spoon in our illustrious history. Do not be concerned.
No.
We've got a fuckload of thoroughbreds sitting on the bench. Do not be concerned. The broom's out to clear out some clutter. Do not be concerned.
And also, like, I'm very bullish on us against the Raiders this weekend.
Why does your team hate Foreign?
We don't hate Ken
don't hate
Foran.
Ken
He's one of our favourite sons. He's won a comp for the
But like,
with the
it was
club.
his last game on the weekend.
It was his last home game. Yeah.
Yeah, it was his
Again,
last home game.
tumultuous times. Club in turmoil.
Yeah.
Hard to pad.
To be honest, I actually think it's
Hard to gloss.
It's probably best. Like Martin Tabau at another club is good for both parties.
Certainly.
Because he can play. He's a gun forward. Like when he's on, him and Adam Fenor-Blake for a period there were like arguably the best pairing front row in the comp.
Yeah. And it's no longer with us. It's tough.
Adam got moved on.
Yeah. Well, he asked to leave.
Tumultuous times. But I reckon Marty. Like for example, I reckon Marty at the Eels would actually be pretty hectic.
Yeah. Now, enough of that. Whilst we're on tumultuous times,
Yeah.
whilst we're on tumultuous times,
Yeah.
let's talk tumultuous.
Yeah.
Tell you what tumultuous is?
Yep.
Getting fucking pumped at home by essentially another Queensland club
Yeah,
in
why
front
do
of
you-
your own fans.
Yeah.
And you are now a fucking legitimate chance of falling out of the 8, which would be a way bigger fuck up than
Chemtrails.
anything that's happening at Manly.
Seriously?
And
I don't
it's
know about
all because of
Coach
one
is
man.
nearly getting sacked.
Fuck off.
He's not getting sacked.
There's like
It's
in a
one
turmoil.
bloke said it.
Yeah.
At least like
If you drop out of the 8, Kevy's head is firmly on the chopping
And
block.
also, we're hearing rumours.
Oh yeah, the rumors have been around for a few weeks.
We actually have heard them. We're not
Yeah.
going to say them on the show, but we've heard them.
Are you going to tell me after?
No.
Nah.
Doesn't matter. We'll find a way. That's what we do at the Broncos. We find a way.
But are you going to sit here and admit that you've cursed the club?
No, because I haven't. Like
But you
can,
have, though.
You can push that. You can push that
Right,
narrative.
you've cursed the club.
You can push the narrative to deflect from your own.
No, we're not deflecting. We just spent a whole segment acknowledging our own shortcomings, Dan. And
How-
what we're saying
how
is
can-
now it's about you acknowledging
how
yours and the
can-
fact that you've cursed a club.
How can
You've
it be a
cursed the
curse
entire club.
when I wore the shirt after we got beaten by the
No.
Tigers? How does that?
Because
how
that
does
was
that
where
make
the
sense?
curse started.
But it was after we got beaten by the Tigers.
Yeah,
So it doesn't make
you just
sense.
you lost 60 points. Got put on you.
But you said it was a curse before the 60
Well,
points.
no, it was a curse.
And we
before
won
the 60
last week.
points.
No.
Against the Knights,
So
Dennon.
can you give the punter an explanation of how curses work?
Okay.
Because it makes no sense to me.
Of course,
You win,
well,
it's
you
not a
know.
curse, it is
So-
a curse.
So what happened, punters and dribblers, is that we had a tough loss, whatever week it was, and we came in and we didn't say anything. We didn't talk shit to Denon about the fact he lost to the Tigers, something we haven't done all season. We just came in. Denon then takes off his jumper. I think it was a bloke hoodie, which is widely accepted as the second best hoodie on the planet behind the Hello Sport Dior. And he had a T-shirt on that was criticising where we sat on the ladder for no reason. We're just a couple
I was
of
just
mates
pointing
in
it
here
out.
coming to talk some rugby league.
So what did it say? It said 9th, didn't it?
Said you were here, but you were, I think, 10th. I think you're still 10th.
Yeah, and
Well.
so the way that that's going to work, if you believe the curse, which we do because it's real, is that every now and then there's wins and there's losses, but you've got to look at the curse in full context because you can't see the forest from the trees, my friend. The full context of the curse is the moment that you did that out of spite, and then we're given an opportunity to fix it by removing your shirt and eating fucking muesli bars. The moment that wasn't upheld, the rugby league gods go, fuck this guy. And in the fullness of time, you will see the Broncos slip out of the 8,
Okay.
thus fulfilling the curse.
Yeah.
So if they don't slip
The
out, then
curse is that
isn't
you
there.
don't make the 8, Denon.
Okay. So what if they do make the 8? Then it's
They
fine.
won't.
But if they do, then it's not. Boom. Yeah.
Well,
Sweet.
no,
Come
that's
boys.
not what we're saying.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm
No.
talking about. You're flimsy on your
It's
curse.
not flimsy. I didn't even fucking respond. I was just
literally-
I was inhaling.
There's
dude.
some rules
I
for
was
the curse.
breathing in for
there's
a second.
There's not some rules for the curse. It's just it's all
Curses aren't all
flimsy.
the same, dude.
Well, the same curse is. It doesn't.
The chem curse is
This
the same.
curse
Yeah.
doesn't change.
Firstly, as we said, totality of the remainder of the season is Broncos, who were in the top 4 at the time, just start tumbling.
No,
they might have been top 2.
They were
Tumbling. Tumbling. Oh, we had a win against the Knights, which masks it gets the fucking losers at the Broncos. Like, oh, we're still going okay. You look shit against the Knights, but you still beat them because they're the Knights. Tumbling. Up against the Storm, who aren't that good. 60 points. So now there's zero chance of you winning your grand final, obviously. Manly has a better chance, actually, and we aren't even in the 8 because we didn't lose by 50. So now that you're completely fucked by the Storm, you're going to get completely fucked by the Eels. The only way that I will slightly accept, like, a defeat on the weekend is if the Raiders, like, flog us, and then you and the Raiders are now in this battle for fucking the 8th position.
Who have your final 2 games?
We've got the Raiders. The
Eels?
Eels and Dragons. So we have to lose both games.
Tough.
Is it?
Well, the Eels.
Yeah, the Eels, but the Dragons.
Fucking tough.
If you guys just keep rolling on this curse form.
Put it this way. If we do get beaten by the Dragons, that's fucking
curse
tough.
You acknowledge the curse if you drop out of the 8?
No, because I wore the shirt after we lost the title.
The curse started when you wouldn't take off the shirt. That's when the curse started.
How do you get cursed for wearing a shirt after you lose? Like,
because it wasn't about the loss to the Tigers.
You're in we were already in bad form.
You're in the top 4.
Bad form already had begun.
The curse started because you can turn around bad form, but the curse started when you refused to remove the shirt.
So you're saying that we won't be able to turn the form around?
No.
Okay. Now you guys are 11th. So what's your curse?
Well, we had a brave season. That's the problem.
I don't know why we just spent 20, 25 minutes on it. We need to go over it again. I'm gonna fucking sound like a broken record. Flog a dead horse. I'm not in the business of flogging dead horses.
No pun intended. Now, ladder 8th position. Who do you think is going to get it? So we've got the Eels on 30. Roosters on 28 points. Souths on 28. Broncos on 28. Raiders on 26. Now,
who do I think is going to get it?
Raiders.
I think the Raiders will.
So you reckon the Raiders will
take 8 spot,
take 8 spot and Broncos by the end of the year?
Yeah.
Where do you see South Roosters?
Because Eels will beat Broncos this weekend, so Eels are safe. Roosters play...
Eels are definitely safe. Eels are definitely safe because they've got 30
Roosters play the Storm, but then they've got South. So, like, it's sort of touch and go for Roosters South. But Broncos, when they go loss, done.
Yeah. Broncos will take it out of everyone else's hands and just go loss.
Be interesting, like, let's say Broncos went loss, but it was tight losses. They could still... Oh, no, Raiders win, they'd go above.
Basically, I tell you what would be interesting, right, is that there's actually a chance that the Roosters go. Imagine if the Roosters lost Storm and South, Broncos beat Dragons.
There's a really 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, and the Roosters are actually in some fucking horny form, but you could see them losing one of those games.
South have got Cowboys Roosters.
That would be crazy.
Mate, it's tight.
It would actually be crazy if one of those two teams
It may work. It honestly may work out that the Roosters South game is for 8th place.
Which would be cool. That'd be cool.
It'd be hectic at the new stadium too, wouldn't it? Holy shit. Because, like, if Broncos beat Dragons, they're in.
Have you got me a ticket to that game yet?
It's sold out.
No, members.
Oh, sorry.
The silence is not encouraging.
Matt, I think
hold on. We're just like, what's
going on? What happened?
You're
taking another friend. You're taking real friends.
Yeah, I haven't got one yet. I might. It's not confirmed, so I can't say anything either way.
This is fucking tough.
You're living in purgatory at the moment.
No wonder the club's going so bad. This is how you fucking look after your mates. Jesus Christ.
Wow, were you supposed to get him? Like, has there been an agreement?
No,
or are you doing him a favour?
There's been no agreement.
No agreement. That's just
it'd be a mate doing a mate a favour.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
So you can't be upset then. You should be grateful that he's even considering.
What are you talking about? This is all about bloke midi. Turn up, bruh. I'm living the fucking bloke ethos here.
Turning up for favours?
Turn up for your mates.
yeah. Turn up for favours.
You turn up for your mate. Get him a ticket to the game.
Yeah, I think you've misconstrued the saying.
Turn up for your mates. Get me a ticket to the game.
Wow.
So Broncos. So where do we settle on this? Broncos fall out.
No, actually, looking at this though, there's a real chance.
South and Roosters.
Roosters and South.
Or Roosters, sorry.
Could get Broncos in.
Because, like, one of them has to lose. Yeah. Oh, it's complicated. Okay, so they're all the same.
Let's assume that Roosters and Souths lose this weekend, just for fun.
No, let's assume they both win. Oh, right. Sorry,
No, they
both
both lose
Yeah.
this weekend for fun, and the Broncos lose this weekend for fun. Then they're all on 28. And let's assume that the Raiders, unfortunately, let's just for fun, assume the Raiders win this weekend.
Yep.
So you got Roosters, South, Broncos, Raiders all on 28 points.
Hectic.
Okay, fighting for the final spot. Now, someone loses out of Roosters and South, so they're in fucking...
Roosters and South must
So
win.
one of those teams is marooned on 28. The Raiders have got Tigers, so they go to 30. So then it's all comes down to, because the for and against the Roosters and South is way more than the Broncos would need to beat the Dragons, which is highly unlikely to make the 8.
No, but if one of the Roosters or Souths don't win this weekend, they're the ones that will miss out.
No, because the Broncos wouldn't. You'd need to beat the Dragons, which is not guaranteed.
Assuming we get the Dragons.
Well, I don't think that should be assumed.
Quickly, hold on.
Why is that assumed?
We were just assuming a bunch of shit just then. You're talking about Raiders beating Manly.
I wouldn't assume that.
No. We definitely wouldn't assume that. But if one of the Roosters or Souths lose this weekend, they don't just drop out. That doesn't mean they don't need to win this weekend to win it.
Well,
They just need to win the next week.
Well, no, because then it would be even.
No, if Roosters and Souths both
If they both lose, but
this weekend,
if only one loses, then they just have to win. They can't lose 2 weeks in a
If
row.
they both lose, then one of them's out, unless Broncos lose both.
Yeah. It's actually very
Crazy.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It is good. Actually, I speak to you guys about. We spoke about the bottom 8 sides and like how do you like make it so it's still exciting towards the end of the year. And like a lot of people got butthurt over it. It's like, bro, we're just posing the question. But a guy did come with a good idea because I personally would love relegation. I think relegation, like it would make the end of the season crazy intense for the fans. But obviously we don't have like
You can't have.
we don't have a
set-
system
that's
for it.
set up that.
Exactly. But I honestly think that's the biggest motivator because imagine, for example, do you think the Tigers are getting beaten by 72 points if there was relegation? Like, no, they're playing for their fucking careers.
But but that's like let's
Who
say.
would get relegated? One club.
Yeah, one club.
But let's say like a Tedesco's still playing for the Tigers. Like, does he just not play rugby league then for the whole?
No.
season?
no,
he
he'd be
would
playing,
go.
He would
would.
play New South Wales Cup, but those big dogs would have clauses in their contract
That's what I
saying
mean.
if we get dropped out. So in the EPL, the big dogs have some of them have clauses saying if we get dropped out of the league, I get put on the open market. But someone did have a good, and just to be clear, I'm not saying that we need to give everyone a ribbon and everyone should be like, oh yeah, pat on the back. Not at all. I'm more saying I want the footy to be exciting and the boys to have a crack. Someone messaged me, said, what about like an FA Cup style where, you know, the FA Cup in English Premier League?
Yeah.
So we got like New South Wales Cup and Q Cup, the top 4 sides played in a tournament with the bottom 8 sides and literally anyone can win it. So like you could have the Redcliffe Dolphins versus the Tigers in the grand final of whatever cup. And if we did that, A, I think it'd be interesting. But B, that's when we could potentially look at relegation because teams would get stronger in New South Wales Cup and Queensland Cup because teams would want to play, like more people would stay playing rugby league in New South Wales and Queensland Cup with the opportunity of playing in the FA Cup at the end of the year in NRL in big stadiums.
Could you?
Is the season too long for that sort of shit?
Well, they're going to have to play, like if they make it through, they're going to have to play a grand final anyway. You know what I mean? Like it's put it this way. Let's say the season is too long.
I honestly think that you could, instead of there being, like at the moment now, you've got a minor premiership that no one gives a fuck about.
Yep.
You could have like a spoon bowl where the bottom 4 sides
We've spoken about this before.
Yep.
So the 2 winners of the first, so you know, it would be what 16th play 13th, 15th plays 14th. The 2 losers go on to play each other the next week, and the loser of that officially wins the spoon.
Yeah, see, we spoke about that on
That'd be spicy.
Monday podcast, and people were off it. They're like, shouldn't reward fucking bum players, like all that kind of stuff.
You're not really rewarding it if you're getting a spoon, though, are you?
As if you wouldn't watch
100%.
the spoon bowl, dude.
I agree.
It'd be fucking great.
The problem, though,
agree.
is that if you come fucking last by a whole heap, and then you still don't get the spoon because there's a spoon
So
bowl.
what's exactly the exact inverse of what we've got with the fucking comp now. Oh, you won all these points during the season, but then you're going to lose the grand final.
Yeah,
Same
it's
thing.
a little different though.
Why is it different?
Well, because the spoon is there's no
It's exactly the same.
there's no final for the spoon right now. So the spoon, it's like we don't.
But I'm
the
saying
minor
if you
premiership-
introduced it, it'd be exactly the same.
Right, if you introduced it, and that would probably be the problem that people have because you're going, well, fucking, you had 2 wins and my team had fucking 8.
But there's unless, at the moment, with 2 games to go, the Titans and the Tigers are on the same points. So, like, if someone beat them by if the Titans end up, avoiding the spoon by 2 points, I'm not like, Jesus Christ, if they played in a spoon bowl, that's so unfair. I'm like, you were both equally fucking dog shit.
Yeah, that's a specific point. That's a very specific.
A win here or there, like, give a shit. Play off to see who's the biggest loser.
Could you see something similar to, like, I personally, as I said earlier, I think relegation is the best way. I know we don't have the system set up for it, but could you see something similar to like what rugby union does in like sevens tournaments where you can play for the lower tier? Like, for example, you could do a comp where, let's say, the bottom 8 teams enter into a final series and basically you play for the winner of the bottom 8 and they can win. It's like more of a festival kind of fun thing to go to. Plus, they could maybe win some money for their development or something, or even a charity.
I wouldn't watch it. I don't think I'd care.
Really?
I just maybe think at the end of the season, when you get to the end of the season, it's kind of like I
watch
don't give
FA
a
Cup.
Fuck about the loser teams anymore. Really, like I just want to see finals.
I'd watch
by
an
this
FA
stage.
Cup. I'd watch an FA Cup for sure. Like
FA
the
Cup
Q
style,
Cup, New South Wales Cup
but
players
it's like
team.
at the end of the season, would you? When it's just like there's shit ass fucking teams getting.
Well,
around.
but the thing is like your end of season with final series, you get way less footy, and so if you just chucked on like an FA Cup style in the midweek or even on a Saturday, I don't know. I'd watch an FA Cup because I would love to take the ride of like, let's say, Logan Brothers or something. Like imagine if they won the FA Cup style thing.
So you're saying the bottom 8 sides play...
So the bottom 8 sides and maybe the top 4 from New South Wales Cup, top 4 from Q Cup, all enter a tournament, and then anyone can win it, that tournament.
I don't hate it.
Again, I'm not saying like we should... I don't... Like, it's not a must or we have to do this. It's just more... For example, the Warriors, Knights, the Titans, like there's a bunch of teams that like literally have not been in the running since about 6 weeks ago, pretty much. And I just wonder, is there a way to like generate revenue around that we're missing out on that we could, do? I would love for the NRL to get to a position where we could relegate though, because I just reckon relegation, people would be playing their dicks off to not get relegated.
Oh, yeah.
And the excitement.
The relegation battle in the EPL is great.
Hectic. It's almost as exciting as the big dance.
100%.
And I think like the FA Cup style thing could build the foundation for that because it could, if let's say there is a team in New South Wales Cup or Queensland Cup that continually like goes well against, first grade sides, maybe the NRL goes, you know what? Here's you an X amount of money, you're going into first grade, that team drops out. Again, it's just a thought process. It's not a
food for thought.
Food for thought.
I think that if you brought in like a legitimate second grade, like a second division comp that wasn't split, that wasn't Queensland and New South Wales. Like
I think Landis is pushing for that.
Like a legitimate tier 1, tier 2, you could bring in promotion and relegation.
But then would the tier 2 comp have to be separate organisations to the NRL clubs?
Yes. But you could be affiliated. You could be affiliated, I think.
Yeah, well, that's what at the moment, Broncos are affiliated with a bunch of different clubs and they send their players back. The only tough thing with relegation, why it's probably not ready yet, is because like a lot of those Q Cup teams have contracted NRL players that are playing for them. So let's say you got relegated. Do you stay with the Broncos or do you come up with Redcliffe?
Mate, it would be a fucking shit fight to work out, but it could be done. Like they've been doing promotion and relegation in England since the fucking 1800s when it was like amateur as fuck.
I wonder how you could lay that groundwork.
You could do it.
Because like I just think that something to motivate these lower teams, whether it's incentivized like positive or whether it's negative with relegation, I just think it would make the end of the season much more exciting for their fans.
Mate, relegation would be so spicy.
It would be spicy.
The Spoon Cup would be.
It'd be spicy. I don't know if it's like priority number one for me in the NRL. It's like, it seems like it's a lot of fucking work.
Well, you wouldn't have to do. You wouldn't have to do
payoff.
Oh, relegation. You wouldn't have to do anything.
Well, Manly would never get relegated, mate. Would be
exactly.
Good.
So it doesn't affect us.
But it's more just like
we can just laugh at seeing the Tigers go out.
Is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't know if it is at this point. Anyway.
You don't reckon? Like I understand what you're saying, but if we put focus into that, it actually helps the development of the game. We'd create better footy players on the second tier, so that it would The reason why the top tier teams are so much better than the lower tier teams is because of the lack of depth. This would create more depth if you put money into a relegation system or whatever. It would cost so much fucking money. I don't think the NRL would be willing to do it. But I think like long term it would be cool to look at for sure. Now, home stadiums for finals. Sharks have asked the NRL to play their first home final at Shark Park. They believe Allianz is not a home ground advantage. What do you reckon should happen, boys?
I agree.
As a Manly man, have been in this position several times before, Dannon. Now, what I'm saying is alleged. I don't have any proof of it, but this is what the eye test tells me. Manly's first. So when we're finishing the top 4 and we got a home final back in the day, we would be the first round of the finals. We'd have to go to fucking Allianz, right? And like. Capacity at Brookie at the time was 20,000. You'd get to Allianz and I'd look around, they'd go, there's fucking 10,000 people here. And then they'd lie on the board and go, there's 26,000 to be more than capacity. I'm like, bullshit. Yeah. There is nowhere near that number. I reckon it's wrong. The first finals game should be at home.
Yeah.
Home,
I agree.
100%.
I think that the money...
After that, it gets a bit tougher to justify then.
Well, the extra money that they make by getting an extra 5,000 people in, like, yeah, it's a lot of money, but at the same time, I don't think that's worth the home ground advantage to the club. Like, that doesn't... How does that help the club?
Mate, they lie about the numbers, I guarantee.
The whole thing's meant to be about having a home ground advantage, right? Isn't that the whole point? Like, when you make the top 4, you get a home final. So
there's no other
it's not a fucking home final, it's at Allianz.
Yeah.
So let them do it at Shark Park.
Shark Park only holds 12,000 though.
But again,
gives a fuck?
It's not about... Like,
don't make it a home ground advantage thing then if you make the top 4.
Give them something else for making the top 4. Like when you think about it, what do the Sharks get if they play at Allianz? What have they gotten for being essentially the second best team in the comp all year long?
Nothing.
Or the third best, but second. They literally get nothing. So what's the... Like, it's they don't get rewarded.
Newsflash, Allianz nowhere near Cronulla.
Literally not close to Cronulla.
Not close.
And the stadium's way different.
And all I'm saying is in that first round, maybe prelims and shit, obviously I think you move into the bigger stadiums because there's just the weight of numbers is so much bigger. But I'm telling you right now, they fucked Manly every time with this same thing. And then would lie about the numbers.
We overcame it because we're just too good.
So not only did we have less numbers at Allianz, but we weren't at Brookie.
Yeah, it's... I just think that the work that the clubs...
They don't move Penrith.
No, the work that they put in all year deserves to be rewarded. Deserves to be rewarded. Now, for Feeder to leave the Sharkies, do you reckon 11 seasons at the Sharkies, over 200 games? Massive congratulations on an incredible career. Reckon the big fella will land anywhere? Maybe
he's already said Tigers. He was like,
oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I might play along Tigers. They haven't made a final since I left.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Mate, as if they wouldn't have a fucking crack at him.
We've talked about Benny Hunt. Now, the quick rapid-fire Fox Sports talking points. Matty John says South are playing in patches and Penrith exposes. Agree or disagree?
Hard to fucking tell Matty what to say. You know what I mean? Hard to disagree.
Listen to you, Matty.
Nah, you know what? I reckon Matty's probably a bit off there. Probably a bit off. Just a bit. Not all the way off,
I don't think they were patchy against Panthers. I just think they didn't finish the opportunities they created.
I think the fact that they didn't have James Fisher-Harris, they don't have Luai, they didn't have Cleary makes, and South came in incredibly red-hot form.
Penrith started well from memory.
It's going to make it tough for them to win when the whips are cracking, so to speak. But I didn't think South were... They weren't that bad.
South had 5 line breaks to Penrith 0 in the first 20 minutes. I think it's 20 minutes. They just didn't capitalise on it.
I actually went and looked that up. It was 5 line breaks from the 9th minute to the 18th minute.
Yeah.
So it was actually 5 line breaks in about 9 minutes.
Not 9 minutes. They just didn't execute.
So Matty Johnson doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. That's what we learned from that.
Moses and Brown can take Eels all the way.
No.
Who wrote that?
Seriously.
Who wrote that?
Who wrote it?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever read.
Which one of you wrote it?
No, it's Fox Talking Points.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, right. I thought that was Matty. I'm like, mate, are you sure you don't need to go to hospital? Now, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Sharks halves can go all the way.
More likely than the Eels, but no.
You know what's really interesting is would you say Hines Moylan is a better combo than Brown Moses?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Because of one man, that wet head.
The wet head man. So you really think that they're better?
They're probably much of a muchness, to be honest. I think that
Hines is better than Moses,
Yeah.
Brown better than Moylan. So,
Wow.
it's much of muchness. I put it this way: who's playing better footy, the Eels or the Sharks?
Sharks playing great footy.
So
Great
that's
footy.
where I'm. So I'm going to lean that way. I don't think that's an unfair decision.
Are Roosters the real deal this year?
If
We'll
they-
find out this
yeah,
weekend.
This weekend is the.
This weekend's the test.
How good.
If they can go down there and get the dub, you're like, oh, bruh.
I'm
They
tipping
could
times.
they could come from the clouds. Imagine if they came.
I had them as my premiership prediction to win.
This would be if they go down and beat the Storm and like start rolling in the finals and start taking big scalps. Would be like almost the perfect timed run
Well, similar-ish to
ever.
2018. They were like, it wasn't this. I don't think they were.
They
this
didn't leave
bad.
it this late.
Nah, you're right. They didn't. But the
This
first
is
half of the
late,
season,
late.
This is as late
as
as you
to
could
get.
possibly get.
but they just time things so well. I think they're a force to be reckoned with.
funny though.
They get Tokiao and Lindsay Collins back this week.
Yeah.
Fuck. That means like
I was running the other day and Lindsay Collins was walking in front of me and I'm like, bruh, you are not to be trifled with, mate. He's a fucking big
massive,
boy, bro.
So their forward rotation is Hargreaves, Lodge, Tokiao, Collins.
Lodge has been such a pickup for them, like to fucking get him late in the season. Like I don't know this, but this is vibe, and I'm fucking high on vibe. Their form, their turnaround, their run has coincided almost the second Lodge rock up.
It is. Their winning streak started in his first game.
Vibe.
Vibe.
Undefeated. Undefeated.
NRL game. Bronx versus Eels. Kate will name despite hurting his ankle. Eels 1-17 the same. What do you got here?
Eels hump.
Yeah.
And I think Eels do naughty things to your
Wow.
points differential.
Really?
Yeah, naughty things.
How are we talking? 20 plus, 30 plus?
40 plus.
40 plus.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Could be back-to-back 60s.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's fucking hectic. Wow.
Yeah. I can see the Courier Mail now. Sack Kevy.
Panthers versus Warriors.
I don't know why you
Warriors.
put that up.
We do call ourselves preview. We have to preview some rugby.
Yeah.
What do you call the preview show if you don't preview the games? We do preview the games. The Panthers will win.
Yeah. We do it every week.
Yeah, literally.
Panthers will win.
Yeah, Panthers for the win. Fisher Harris and Luai return. Storm v the Roosters.
I think the Roosters win this one.
Really?
Yep.
I've gone with the Storm.
Storm look
But
pretty
I wouldn't be
hot.
shocked if the Roosters won.
Storm are hot, but I just think the Roosters are hotter. Again, it's a vibe, it's an eye test. Storm, not as hot as the Roosters. Roosters, as hot as can be. Lodge.
Lodge.
Lodge. Just Lodge.
Is that
Lodge.
just, is
That's
Lodge
all,
is
what
Texas.
else do I need to fucking say?
well, you don't have to say anything else, buddy. That's fine.
Storm
Manly.
versus Roosters, yeah. This is going to be incredible. Now, Raiders
Manly.
versus
Manly.
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 Do you want to hear a bet that's going to get up?
Yep.
Manly 13 plus, DCA 4 to score, 105 to 1.
That's a fucking good bet.
Yeah, it is a good bet.
That's a great bet.
It's a great bet. People
Horns
will love
last game, second last game.
it. Yeah,
Then
DCA.
DCA, he'll go over.
he always does. So he
I
scores
scored
every
on the
week.
weekend.
Yeah. The only try we scored. So the kid's in form.
I think Raiders get the win. Sharks versus Bulldogs.
Sharkies.
Sharkies. South versus Cowboys. Good game this.
South, I reckon.
South, yeah.
Cows hate Sydney.
They've also got...
And Drinkwater's gone to 6. I
they're
like
all,
him at fullback.
did not there.
Yeah.
Got a sore testy.
RIP. He's testy.
Oh, no,
it'll be back.
well, he
RIP.
hasn't lost it.
They
It'll be back.
saved it.
Yeah, it'll be back.
But it was
RIP for now.
well, it's not RIP because that's would infer the testy no longer with us. The testy.
No, I wanted to rest in peace right now.
Oh, okay.
Is the test
yeah.
in a coma?
No, I think the testy just on ice.
Oh, nice. Resting in peace.
Had to have some surgery though.
Don't fiddle with it. Just let it rest
No,
in
no,
peace.
you leave it.
Okay.
Tigers v Dragons.
Oh, the DMC Bowl. This thing. Well, Denon, this is a huge Sunday. This is the poo slinging Sunday. 2 games of just utter shit. Just kicking it off with the DMC Bowl. I like the Dragons in a big, big way.
Look, you're inclined to say Dragons, but I'll remind you, Thomas, that in a DMC bowl, it's usually the most unlikely result that is
Gets
in
up.
fact the most likely. So
Maybe
I'm going
a
to
draw
go
or
Tigers 13 plus.
You can't argue with that.
Titans Knights.
Titans Titans are trying to avoid the spoon. Knights playing away from home. Knights stink. Titans win.
So you reckon Tigers end up with the spoon end of the year?
Yep.
Wow.
Unless
call.
they, well,
It's not a big call.
yeah, is it a big
Titans
is that
have
a
been pretty
big call?
bad.
But to say the Tigers finished with the spoon after they just had 70 put on them, not a big call.
I think I meant more big call as in like a hurtful call because they're currently not sitting last.
Yeah.
How many,
Actually, they are
Like-
currently sitting last.
Yeah.
mate, the Balmain and Magpies, like roll them together. Spoons they've got off.
Yeah,
Fuck hell.
Mate, they got a lot of spoons. lot of spoons.
All right, that is us done and dusted. Do you got anything coming up, boys?
No. We do a show with SEN every Wednesday night, 8 p.m, and it's replayed again on Sundays. This
Who you
week
got
we
this
got
week?
James the Missile Magnuson. We ended up speaking to him for like 2 fucking hours. He actually,
2 hours?
Yeah,
He's
dude.
a legend.
Interesting guy. Shorter form on SEN. It'll be on our podcast and on our YouTube on Sunday. All 2-ish hours or hour and something of it. But
A lot
he was
of
actually
fun.
a weapon.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, the missile.
Why don't you ever say you enjoy our chats?
Well, we used to, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking late in the season.
Now you're too big for it, eh?
yeah. Fun wears off.
I'll go and fuck myself. Thank you.